What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yee Yee Podcast. It's officially 2024. My name is Parker Smith, joined here by the founders of Yee Yee, Granger and Tyler. Does 2024 sound like a real year? You guys are a lot older than me.
2025, 2030, that's starting to sound a little surreal for sure. In 10 years, no one will be driving their own cars. Everyone will have a servant in their house that it's a robot.
I saw the first Tesla truck just randomly on the road the other day.
You did?
Have y'all seen one yet?
Amber saw one at Academy. I have not seen one.
Dude, it was cool.
That sucker could outpull any truck on the road. It's faster than a Porsche 911.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
How much do they cost?
$100,000.
There's a video of it racing the Porsche, and
It beat it?
it beat it, and then it zooms out, and it's towing a Porsche.
No,
Yes.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
I promise.
Yeah, it's all over YouTube, dude. This truck gets crazy.
wow.
So that one is the
No, it's not. Text me that video after this.
it's $100,000 for the top one. It's $50,000 or $45,000 for the bottom one. It's like one-wheel drive. But the top one with like the big battery pack and like four-wheel drive and all that is $100,000.
They got to do that for us normal people, us poor people. Here's the cheap one. I wonder which one I saw then. Like, how can you tell the difference?
There's only 10. You got a 1 out of 10 chance.
Really?
In Austin, there's only 10 that were released from the factory. So you
Wow,
saw
I
one.
saw
out
one
10.
of them.
Yeah.
Right down here on 971.
They must be the same one Amber saw. She saw at Academy. There's one up here in Georgetown.
They just put in the Tesla factory just east of Austin, and so we pass it whenever we're going downtown or going to the airport, and it is a gigantic factory and office that they have here.
I wonder what they had to do to get that. If there's only 10, like they probably signed up 5 years ago or whatever, or as soon as it came out.
No idea how they got. I mean, I'm certain that
Would you get one?
I wanted
If money wasn't an issue, would you get
Yeah,
one?
if money wasn't an issue, I think they're really cool.
Which in 10 years, this is just how it does. When it's first released, it's going to be super expensive, and then it'll go down, and then everybody will have it once they're
Everybody will have
mass-produced.
it. It's an iPhone. It's like an iPhone was in 03 or whatever.
Would it
02.
be your daily driver, or would it be?
Honestly, that's how I started this conversation. In 10 years, we'll all be driving electric trucks. That's just the thing.
Not
Hey.
me, brother.
Hey, I'll be honest. I got the kids an electric go-kart last year for Christmas, 2022 Christmas. Dude, it's so much better, man. It's faster. It's got more torque. And it always goes. That go-kart always goes. You don't have to like do some carb cleaner on it or
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
government can just shut it down whenever they want to.
a kid's go-kart.
Yeah, wherever the mainframe computer is, they'll just shut it down.
Dude, they'll shut down.
Like a Minority
They'll
Report.
shut down. If that's the case, like an EMP, they'll shut down any gasoline vehicle made after 1978.
Yeah, I know. So you just got to have one pre-78, which Earl's truck is.
Except for we put fuel injection in.
I mean,
those
can you
trucks.
imagine when you're driving? Oh, yeah, that sucks. Can you imagine you're driving and you're over the speed limit and there's no police and it just takes you right to the police station or whatever because you did some sort of
Like Minority
traffic
Report,
violation?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but it's also going to be illegal to drive a gas truck.
Just like it was illegal, you can't leave your house. How'd that work out during COVID?
It works out differently because if it's illegal to have a gasoline truck, then where are you going to fuel up? There's no more gas stations.
I don't know. Remember that guy that made an engine that ran on water, and then he disappeared. Remember that?
Yeah, I know. They're going to play this podcast back in about 10 years and go, look at these idiots talking about this. They were right. No, I'm just kidding.
A guy made an engine that ran on water, and then somebody killed him.
And that's the conspiracy theory. Yeah,
Hydrogen engine.
like a super smart dude.
Wow. I saw a video from Tesla the other day on Twitter where they hired a UFC fighter to come, and he does like 5 huge kicks into the Tesla truck, and it doesn't even dent it. It's like undentable.
Oh, have y'all seen the video yet? I don't know have y'all seen the one where they're like Ford Explorer and it like gets crushed by a semi, and then like a Chevy truck gets crushed by a semi against a wall?
Mm-mm.
and like a Ford Bronco. And like, have you seen that? I wonder if they've done a Tesla truck yet to see how that stands up. Because some of them, like, it's like, oh, I would survive that, and others, it's like a slinky. Just
It's stainless steel. The Tesla truck is stainless steel,
so it'd probably hold up.
it's heavy, but it's super efficient. It's wind resistant or wind aerodynamic. They put it up against that Hummer, that EV Hummer EV, whatever it's called. It's electric Hummer, and dude, it just crushes it in every way. It's faster. It's got more torque. It's smaller. It's more efficient. It has smaller batteries. It's crazy.
Between AI and batteries, it'll be interesting to see the state of the world in 20 or 30 years. Especially AI. AI is really crazy. They're talking about the video and the images that are going to start coming out in the next couple of years.
So there's a new Indiana Jones. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I randomly watched it the other day, like just the first 10 minutes, and it's Harrison Ford and he's young. And it's all AI.
Oh, wow.
Just gets paid for his likeness and doesn't have to do
CGI.
anything.
I mean, it's his voice. You could tell his voice is on it, and it's like older and gruffier. That doesn't really match his body. But yeah, you won't know. Music videos, there'll be no more going to shoot a music video. It'll be a guy making it on a computer or AI. Like everything's going to change. Everything, the way we think, the way we eat, the way we get from one place to another, the way we communicate, everything's about to change.
I'm just ready for teleportation. You think that'll ever happen? That would be sweet. Like the movies. Y'all laugh now,
Beam
but
me up.
I'm sure Elon's working on it. That'd be sweet.
Farmer's
Like,
got nothing.
Back, what is it? Bill and Ted, something like that.
Yeah.
Like we can go to the past or the future.
At the phone booth.
Yeah.
Time travel. This podcast is all over the map. 2024, welcome, coming with a vengeance.
Well, I don't know. The new year just makes you think about time and how fast it goes by. I remember when I was a freshman at Texas A&M, and they're like, yeah, this is the class of, it was 2012. And they were like, this is the class of 2016. And they were like, 2016 doesn't even sound like a real year. 2016. And now it's almost 10 years ago. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And how right now we're living in the 20s. And people are going to look back and be like, wow, that was all the way back in the 20s. You know? It's just so easy for us to just always think in the present and think how far we've come and then always be looking back. But then it's so weird to think that like you're living in, you know, unless Christ returns soon, then in 30, 40 years, this is like the olden days.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be very old because we're driving gasoline combustion engines, and we're none of us have a robot that's cooking us lunch right now.
What do you think is the most outdated thing about us right now that is still fairly normal? Like when we're old men, our great grandkids are going to be like, you used to...
Top of my head, communication and transportation.
Like
We're
phone,
still-
like
we're-
you hold the phone up to your ear?
Yeah, we are still have this concept of holding a phone up to
Well,
an ear.
no, that has come so much in our lifetime, so much more than cars did. We still drive the same cars, literally, like when we were kids. But
And-
phones, we used to have cords. Then caller ID came out, and that was the best thing ever. Now we have cell phones. Now, like
in a
that keeps
pretty
progressing.
quick amount of time, though. I think in that same amount of time, since we had caller ID, which was like 30 years ago when that came out, add 30 years to now, and we're talking 2054. It's gonna be crazy. In transportation, we still fly in airplanes that are tubes with wings on them. Since that's what it's been since airplanes were invented. That's going to drastically change. The infrastructure of airports is kind of what's holding us back, because all the airports have those jetways that reach out at the same height for an airplane.
Did you know that Bergstrom Airport, you know, the Hilton Circle Hotel, did you know that used to be a, what do you call it, like a bunker or a hideaway for the president at the time? Like, I think it was like in the 70s or 80s.
No.
There was like one of 3 in the U.S., and that was one of them. Now it's a Hilton Hotel, Bergstrom. Fun fact.
Interesting. Podcast continues to evolve.
I thought about when I was I was at some restaurant the other day. I was at like Jason's Deli or something, and I was just thinking, like a cashier or a person taking your order. A lot of places have adopted you just order on the screen. Panera Bread does that now. A few other places in the airport I've seen it, but I was just thinking, I could see it being telling your grandkids about someone used to like take your order. You tell them what you want, and then say this would be $12.50, and then you give them money, and then they put it in a little drawer. Like I could see that being super outdated.
Yeah, for sure. All the service industries, anybody that drives or takes your money or cleans or repairs, all the service industry will be replaced in the next 15 to 20 years for sure. And the only thing that survives is creative industries and relaxation industries, and things to give you a break from the world.
It is January. People have their New Year's resolutions. They're overweight. They've been lazy. They're really off the deep end. They're starting new. They're starting fresh in January. Do you guys relate? Tyler has a mentality on the end of the year. Why don't you go ahead and share it?
No, I mean, this is actually the first year that I've like, because everybody gets, lazy with their, just talking about fitness. I mean, it's work too, but personally, I'm just trying to push through this year because I let myself go and then make excuses and say it's bulking season, and I did get stronger, but I don't know. I just think this is an important year for all the type A and all the hustlers out there. Important time of year to get ahead in your business or your fitness or whatever it is, because everybody's going to cool it and start eating pie, and everybody shuts down every single business, like especially remember music business, like we'll get to you at the top of the year. And so everybody's like, well, cool, I'm just going to take off too. And I think it's just golden opportunity to buckle down and keep working.
Granger, do you have any New Year's resolutions? Do you do that anymore?
I don't do New Year's resolutions, but ever since all of us started Miracle Morning, I think all of us have kind of, it's been several years now since we started, and it's been interesting to kind of push through, whether it's a Sunday morning or it's a Saturday morning or it's a Christmas morning or it's a New Year's Day morning. We're getting up and we're going to start working on a list or working through journaling, reading our Bible reading plan. And so I always like that. There is no sleeping in, not ever, not one day, not ever. And I enjoy that. The kids will kind of help keep you in that rhythm, like your kids coming, Lord willing, more than just little David. They keep you in a certain rhythm, because like Mav, he gets up at the same time every morning, goes to bed at the same time every evening. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday or if he's sick or if it's New Year's or whatever. It's hot outside, cold outside, raining outside. Like kids just stay in a rhythm. And so I enjoy, people might listen to this and go, that sounds horrible. What Granger and Tyler are saying sounds horrible. But I'm a creature of habit. I would be fine to wear the same thing every single day and eat the same food every single day in the same location every single day, doing the same thing, chipping away at some bigger, greater goal every single day. Not a lot of people are like that, but that's who I am. I would literally wear.
That's how we were born. Like you're talking about Mav, like babies. Like if he's not in his routine, what happens? Like he's running all over the place. He's cranky. He's crying. Like we're still that, we still need that as adults.
Yeah. And we need to break out. We need to go with the group to, the bonfire on Friday night and stay out a little bit later. We need to break out of these habits, but I feel comfort most in my routine, my habit. That includes Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, rainy days, snowy days. That includes vacation days. I enjoy that.
Do you have any advice to anybody out there who's like, I have not read my Bible in a long time. I want to do a new reading plan. I want to read my Bible in a year. If January is the month for gym memberships, it's going to be the month for people to start a reading plan that they're not going to finish. Do you have any advice on a reading plan or someone who's looking to read their Bible in 2024?
Yeah, my advice is a challenge to anyone that wants to read their Bible in a year. And here's my challenge. My challenge is, I don't think I've ever met anyone that's actually done it outside of my own family and Marshall, our pastor. I think that's it. I think a lot of people have come forward. And what happens is when my reading plan, which is the McShane plan, M''CHEYE or N-E, something like that. Google that. But that's my reading plan. This is coming up. This is my 4th year. And it starts over for me. It kicks over a new one in March. And when that happens, I'll probably post something on social media and say, kicking off a new McShane plan. Who wants to do it? And a lot of people will comment, I'm in, Granger. I'm in with you. And they'll DM me, I'm in. And people will text me like, I'm in. That happened last year. And then life catches up with you a couple months and suddenly you get behind and then you just quit. So my challenge to anyone is if they want to start a reading plan, you do it, create a habit for it over the spiritual side.
That's what I was just about to say. We're talking about the habits again.
Yeah. So I would create a habit, make it habitual more than spiritual. Right. And they're like, well, Granger, isn't reading the Bible to renew your spirit? Yes. But I would say make that the process of opening, reading, systematically working through a foreseen plan that you've created for yourself. Make that part of it, the mechanics of it, habitual. And then the spiritual thing, let that catch up after the mechanics of the habitual.
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked for me. And I don't know if are you talking about new readers? Because I wouldn't jump in the McShane plan right off the bat. I would probably just start at Matthew 1.
You have to have some kind of desire to cultivate a desire to read the Bible. So it's not for people to go, I don't want to read the Bible. Then don't. There's other things we need to get ahead of that first. We could talk about that. There's other steps now. But it's for the people that go, man, I'm really interested in the Bible.
I think that primarily the person I was talking about is the average American who feels guilty for not reading it. They know they're supposed to. It's every Morgan Wallen song. It's every country song. I know I should be reading it more. I'd be a little bit more saint than a sinner.
Matthew 1, right?
I need to be reading those.
Or any of the Gospels.
Yeah. So my experience and my advice would be for those 4 chapters a day that Granger's talking about are a little bit intimidating. Unless you just love the Bible and you're a Bible-believing, born-again Christian, then you're probably going to love to have that structure. But for me, every year I'd put memorizing scripture, my spiritual life. I would add it to my to-do list. I'd add it to my miracle morning. But ultimately, I wasn't a Christian. I wasn't somebody who hungered for the Bible. I wasn't born again at that time. I found the Bible boring. I found it, my life didn't indicate that I was following Jesus at all. And I'm not saying that you can't be a Christian and find the Bible boring. I'm just saying that, similar to what Tyler said, if you have no spirituality in your life or no Christianity in your life and you want to get started with something, try not to, and this kind of pushes back on what you guys said, but it kind of is in the same ballpark of try not to just add it to your to-do list of just another thing to knock off your spirituality. Honestly, ask yourself, do I have any interest in this at all? Does my life portray anything that this talks about? Do I know what's going on here? And if not, that's totally fine. It's exactly where I was at. And I just started in Romans 1, or you can start in Matthew 1, like Tyler said, or John 1, or one of those New Testament books. And then you can lay a foundation. And it was when I was reading Romans that I saw there's a huge disconnect in my life, and then I started to hunger for it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, well, when you say, pushing back against what we said, and you kind of said too, like, don't read the Bible if you don't want to read it, then what are you suggesting that you do? Because there was many days where it's like, me and Granger's side over here saying, like, make it a habit before spiritual, like, that helped push me through. It's like, in the very beginning stages. And then
very beginning for me, I started with Billy Graham sermons on YouTube.
But then okay, so instead of the Bible, like something like that.
That's me. Everyone's going to have a different story. Like the Bible.
To me, it's like I'm very structured. So it's like Bible, page 1, page 2, or 3 verses, then 3 again. Systematically, every day I could do that. I would trip up and like, okay, I've watched this Billy Graham about this topic. Now let me find one. Oh, this is 13 years later. Older Billy Graham, different topic. So that's cool that it worked for you. Like for me, it's just like reading the Bible. Like,
well, but also no one told me any order to do anything.
Yeah.
No one was discipling me or telling me anything. I was just like, oh, I think I'll look at a Billy Graham sermon. I liked it. I think I'll look at another one. I did that for several months before I realized, oh, the Bible is something you go to and read. So no one told me that. It just kind of happened through these messages that where are these guys getting all this information from the Bible? So there's a lot of ways to get into this. But what I'm saying is 2 things. One, it starts with a desire, a God-given desire.
Right.
And 2, when you feel that desire, let's create some kind of habit to structure ourselves around prioritizing that. Otherwise, you'll forget it.
We could keep talking, but if you're like, I don't want to get in my Bible, or I don't have one, or I don't want to get on YouTube, who's Billy Graham, I think one or the other, there's many ways to get in this with, if you have a desire, is to your point, like texting the most, faithful person that you know in your circle, saying and telling them your story and saying, what do you suggest I do? And seeing what they say. Kind of like you said with Paul texting.
Yeah, have lunch. Brian had some great advice for Paul. First of all, he sent him to John 1 when he recognized that Paul had a desire. And Brian said, go to John 1. It's like taking this big ocean and just making it really small. Here it is right here in your hand. And then Brian said, before you read, reference the Bible Project on YouTube, which is really good. That's the same thing I did, because just going in, like, who are these names? Who are these people? Where's the setting? What time period is this? I don't really know. I kind of know, and I think I know, and I'm almost embarrassed to ask someone else that I don't know. But the Bible Project takes all of it and animates it and makes it very clear. It's like, John was written by the blah, 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 and at this blah, blah, blah time period in this area, and he was speaking to this period, and it makes it really dumbed down and clear. And I would finish a book, and then as the next book would come up, so in this case, the book of Acts would be next chronologically, then I would go to the Bible Project and look, okay, let's look at the book of Acts and see what it says. I think that's very helpful.
Yeah, I agree. Bible Project helped me out a ton. I think that's all we got. Hope you guys have a great 2024. Let us know any comments you may have in the comment section if you're listening on YouTube.
Let me know if I should buy a Tesla or if I should stick with my Ford, or if I should trade my Ford in for a Chevy. I don't really. Actually, have you seen the new Dodges? There's a Texas Trophy Hunters edition. It's pretty sick.
We'll leave you with that.
See you guys next episode.
See ya.